Hey there everyone, it's Haz here, and it's finally time to talk about the notorious FOAMSTARS, Square Enix's brand new shooter IP that will release next year, and the game that is a primary target for many memes and jokes in the Splatoon community. But last weekend there was an open beta for it, and I've decided to give it a go and see if I like it, if it's a poor attempt to copy Splatoon, or is it a chance for a good competition. So here's my honest opinion on it. So as a very basic thing that you need to know about FOAMSTARS is that it's a hero-based shooter, not a sandbox shooter, which means you can't just willy-nilly choose any weapon and skills, so immediately it is very differently structured than Splatoon, and I would much more compare it to Overwatch in that regard, as there are proper team compositions and so on, but without the ability to have duplicate characters, so that's also a big one. As I was doing the tutorial and also testing out characters, what struck me immediately is that FOAMSTARS is a very character ability based game, and while yes, each player will have their own weapon, the whole pacing of the game seems to be around these two primary abilities you have, along with charging up your big superstar skill as the game goes on. Because of how frequently you can use these abilities and how powerful they are, not only to chill enemies, the term for defeating someone, but also to form the shape of the map, which I'll get to once we're looking at the match. But nonetheless, my first impressions are that FOAMSTARS is a very ability-based shooter and will revolve around using them properly rather than having super clutch moments with your weapons. With that said, I actually found all the characters really fun without exception, and while yes, there are some minor similarities for certain characters, like Soa having the bowler as their ultimate or Agito sending out exploding sharks, these aren't really all that super unique mechanics to get upset about if borrowed. I'm actually happy that fun features from Splatoon are spreading, and even in the worst case scenario, all of this is just encouraging competition in the industry and making these large corporations care more than just offering the bare minimum, so I'm all in for it, and you should be too if you care about games getting better. Now for the general gameplay of FOAMSTARS, if you even play just 1 or 2 matches of it, you immediately see that you're playing quite a different game despite some basic similarities, as already just the foam mechanic is a much more strategic and meta element of your matches that turns Splatoon's inking from a 2D into a 3D system that no longer revolves around map control and coverage for easier reloading and movement, but instead it's a mechanic to form the map to your advantage. You see, in FOAMSTARS you can reload no matter what, and it does not depend on foam around the map, and instead you can accumulate large amounts of foam around areas and build your own obstacles, walls and structures that other players have to work around, avoid or destroy. Which in my opinion is one genius design and makes every single match you play unique, since the map never looks the same, safe areas and high ground is always somewhere else and with different elements to look out for, which makes FOAMSTARS have a very dynamic playstyle that constantly changes based on how the map is being formed, and this is by far my favorite part about the game so far. This foam mechanic combined with the very ability-centric gameplay creates a fast and chaotic pacing for your matches, constantly trying to chill your opponents, build up your defenses or get rid of the enemy's foam, which is considerably harder than it looks, and if they take over your base with large amounts of them, you'll quickly realize how terrible it can be if you're out of ground and you cannot surf into safety or move around properly. Another surprisingly fun mechanic I found is the revive or chill mechanic, which is essentially a final chance mechanic allowing your team to rescue each other once they are fully foamed up and your health reaches 0, or the enemy team to close up and knock you out for a forced respawn. So each time someone goes down, it creates this really tense moment between teams of either giving up your own safe position for a full knockout or a revive, or give up on your target, and in every single game the coolest and craziest plays were a result of team plays that just randomly came out of nowhere during these moments for awesome sweeps or really satisfying comebacks from team revives, and I really love this idea. So the general gameplay in FOAMSTARS for me looked like a lot of back and forth with abilities and trying to control areas on the map and building some advantage with your foam, and then have a big push when players get out of position, which, well, frankly, that's how most shooters look like, so I guess nothing new here. Except for the ability to have territory advantages even more so than you can have in Splatoon by building up large amounts of foam. That's actually quite similar to how Fortnite does with their walls. I've only tried out one of the game modes that was somewhat of a team deathmatch with having superstar players at the end that you had to defeat or defend, which was pretty fun honestly, nothing crazy special. But the first negatives I've experienced during the beta is that I'm a bit nervous and worried about future matchmaking in FOAMSTARS, since with all these mechanics one thing became really clear, and it's that if a team is significantly better than the other, they can absolutely destroy them and make their game a complete misery, and currently I see there was no protection against this at all, you could get spawn camped, etc. And if that won't change, it's going to be a bigger problem for sure. I wouldn't go into too deep lengths about this game since I haven't played it that much, plus it's just an early beta, but with my experience, honestly I think FOAMSTARS is quite a lot of fun, and I was very surprised by the fact that despite it looking like a Splatoon clone, it's very much a completely different game, and I wouldn't compare them too much apart from the couple of similar cosmetic ideas, since yes, even if some things look similar, mechanically and gameplay-wise, when you are in the game, they feel like a completely different one, which I would say is a good thing. In the beta, I pretty much had a blast, apart from the constant connection errors, and I think the game is really fun on its own without any reliance on Splatoon, which was my original opinion back then that if it borrows too much, it might damage the IP's future on its own, but I found the large majority of the game unique with its own ideas, and I'm happy about that, since if Square Enix will support this game on the long term, this could be a really good game to have a competition for Splatoon to make both games much better and the genre overall more successful. If you're interested in more live and instant reactions about the game, I have linked the live stream I played it on that's unedited, so you can check out more about FOAMSTARS, but in all honesty I think it looks like a really fun shooter, and I'm looking forward to playing it on release, and I would recommend it to anyone liking hero-based shooters with large focus on powerful abilities, and not necessarily towards Splatoon fans, as even if there is a certain shared target audience, the gameplay isn't all that similar, so you have to try it yourself. But those are my impressions from playing the FOAMSTARS beta, everyone. Hope you enjoyed my thoughts in the video. Let me know in the comments what you think, especially if you did play the beta, and if you're planning on getting the game on release or not. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you the next time.